I don't like it at all. I only reviewed it because I reviewed the first part and I felt like being consistent. I remember giving a generously positive review to part 1 of this all-encompassing double album from Foals, since for all its glossy concessions that suffocated the fullest kinetic energy of their music, they still had that kinetic energy anyways. I'd maintain that the tightly produced, inspiring, synth-heavy pop rock sounds on part 1 sounds a lot like what Coldplay could have been doing if they weren't wasting so much time floating in their own acid reflux. But recently Coldplay dropped 2 songs that outdo what Foals could have done on part 2, which is an embarrassing outcome. The truth is, Foals are the embodiment of the phrase "it's just not the same anymore," like eating Chips Ahoy after they changed the recipe and just knowing it's not the same anymore. Antidote set up a perfect framework for some of the most creative and wild indie rock. It baffles me that they've followed up with a multitude of projects that completely forget it, like walking into the room of success and forgetting what you were actually supposed to do. Fuck it, let's get sappy, conventional, and easy for big arenas and kick Kings of Leon into the big pool of milk. We are Foals and we're the face of FIFA title screen core and 2011 era Foster the People. Even if I forget about Foals' true potential and just take the songs for what they are, I only find it worse because then I'm left with rock songs I don't give a shit about, and could have been written by any high-profile UK rock band with a large studio budget. The Runner is a song that coasts along so blandly with bland song structure and blandly performed solos and a blandly predictable chord progression. It blandly relies on Yanis's bland wails of "oh" to perk it up a little. But these are easy tricks. One of the songs that I kind of liked, Wash Off, for its slightly more panicky drum rhythm and repetitious but exciting guitar melody, still feels restrained overall because that's literally just the point that Foals are at. All the fury sapped out and replaced with packing peanuts and diluted LaCroix. A potential saving grace here, Black Bull is the hardest and heaviest that I've heard Foals go. Beefy and straight to the point, and then it's followed up immediately by Like Lightning, which stoops the lowest as so to rip a generic blues riff that Black Keys would have plastered on about 18 songs in a row and call it an album. Offensive that Foals would place it on even just one, approaching the same level of corniness as Grounds for Divorce by Elbow. And of course, the band feel the need to conclude this gigantic non-journey with wistful slow songs, and then a massive crescendo to fool you into thinking you've reached the end of an adventure that barely went anywhere worthwhile in the first place, like watching Man vs. Wild, seeing Bear Grylls make it to civilization at the end, and then patting yourself on the back that you worked really hard today. I don't know about Foals anymore. I was wide-eyed and optimistic before, but during part 2, the most that I moved around was when the library security guard told me to leave because they were closing. Whatever smidges of promise were offered on part 1, I shone upon with a disappointing light on part 2, thus proving the title correct, that everything not saved will be lost.